Hey everyone, I'm Noah.
And I'm Lila. We're really happy you're here with us today.
Lila, can I ask you a question that sounds dramatic, but is unfortunately very real?
Those are my favorite kind. Go on.
Have you ever been emotionally attacked by a completely normal Tuesday?
That is an insane sentence.
And yet I mean it sincerely.
Okay, I'm listening.
You wake up feeling fine. Not amazing, not terrible, just normal. You make coffee, answer one message, maybe even clean your room for 7.5 minutes.
Wow, look at you. Thriving.
Exactly. You start thinking, nice, my life is stable. My emotions are mature. I am basically a calm and balanced adult.
Already a dangerous thought.
Very dangerous. Because then, out of nowhere, you hear an old song in a cafe.
Oof.
Or you find an old photo in your phone.
No, thank you.
Or you walk past a place you haven't seen in months. And suddenly your heart goes, surprise, we're not done with this.
Wow.
And just like that, your peaceful little Tuesday turns into an emotional documentary.
Okay, yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Really?
Absolutely. It happened to me a few weeks ago, and honestly, I still feel betrayed.
Now I need the story.
Okay, so I was cleaning my apartment.
Suspicious beginning.
Why is that suspicious?
Because nobody in a story ever says, I was cleaning my apartment, unless sadness is waiting behind a bookshelf.
That's fair. Anyway, I was cleaning, and I found an old receipt inside a book.
A receipt?
Yes, a tiny cafe receipt, completely harmless. A boring little rectangle of paper.
The most dangerous kind.
Exactly. I picked it up, looked at the date, and immediately recognized the cafe.
Uh-oh.
It was a place I used to go to all the time, with someone who used to be very important in my life.
Oof, that's rough.
Yeah, and the weird part is, I genuinely thought I was over that whole chapter.
Like, look at me. I've healed. I drink water. I go on walks. I have perspective.
Exactly that energy.
And then one tiny receipt said, that's adorable.
Pretty much. I just stood there in my kitchen, holding this stupid little piece of paper, and suddenly I felt sad. Not dramatic movie scene sad, just that heavy, quiet kind of sadness that makes you stand very still for a second.
That might be even worse.
It really is, because it wasn't only the memory that upset me.
What was it then?
It was the fact that I was upset at all.
Ah,
That was the part that got me. I kept thinking, seriously? This again? We already cried about this. We already journaled about this. We listened to emotional music and stared out of windows like respectable, sad people. Why are we back here?
so it wasn't just, I'm hurt.
Exactly.
It was, why am I still hurt?
Yes, and those are two very different feelings.
Wow, that's real.
Because one of them is sadness.
And the other one is frustration.
Exactly. Frustration, embarrassment, impatience, all of it.
You know what I think is so strange about healing?
What?
We expect it to behave like a school project.
Oh no.
No, really. We think, okay, I felt bad. I processed it. I reflected. I learned a lesson. Wonderful. I would now like to submit my healing and never think about this again.
Dear life, I have completed the assignment. Please remove all remaining sadness immediately.
Exactly.
And if the sadness comes back 3 months later, we're offended.
Deeply offended.
Like, excuse me, why are you here? I thought I unsubscribed from this.
Right. We act like emotions are spam emails.
Or a package that should have arrived by now.
Hello, yes. I ordered inner peace 2 months ago. Do you have a tracking number?
Honestly, I would love one.
Same. But I think that's what makes healing so confusing. Sometimes you feel okay for weeks.
Maybe even longer.
You laugh, you work, you sleep better. You stop thinking about the thing every 5 minutes.
And then one smell, one song, one random Tuesday reminds you that there's still a little pain sitting quietly somewhere inside you.
And in that moment, it's so easy to panic.
Because you start thinking, wait, Am I back at the beginning?
But maybe that's the wrong question.
Exactly.
Maybe one hard moment doesn't erase all the progress you made.
Maybe it just means healing is slower, messier, and a lot less tidy than we expected.
And that's what we're talking about today.
Why healing can feel frustratingly slow.
Why one bad day doesn't mean you failed.
And what healing actually looks like in real life. Not in perfect movie scenes, not in inspirational quotes, but in ordinary human life.
So if you've ever thought, I was doing fine, why am I feeling this again?
This conversation is for you.
And while we're at it, you can also relax and learn some English with us.
So get comfortable.
Take a breath.
And let's begin.
Lila, can I confess something slightly embarrassing?
Please do. I'm a fan of it.
A while ago, I went through one of those periods where I kept telling myself, okay, that's enough now. I should be over this.
Oh, wow. Yes. Whew, I know that voice.
Right?
That very impatient voice that suddenly appears like an angry manager.
Exactly.
Hello, it has been 3 months. Why are we still emotional? This is unacceptable.
That's the one.
Honestly, that voice has terrible bedside manner.
It really does. In my case, it happened after I got rejected from a job I really wanted.
Oof, a painful one.
Yeah. And I know people say things like, it just means something better is coming. Which is a lovely sentence when it's happening to someone else.
I feel that. When it's your own life, you're like, thank you, but I would actually prefer the job.
Precisely. I had worked hard for it. I did the interviews, prepared like crazy, imagined my future there, mentally spent my first salary.
Noah.
What?
Never spend imaginary money. It's too dangerous.
I know that now.
What were you buying with your imaginary salary?
Honestly, better coffee, maybe a nice chair, possibly emotional stability.
Ambitious.
Very ambitious. Anyway, I didn't get the job. And at first, I was obviously disappointed. That part made sense. But what surprised me was how long it stayed with me. For weeks, every time someone asked, so, how did it go? I'd feel this little wave of embarrassment all over again.
Ugh, I hate that feeling.
Me too. And after a while, I started getting annoyed with myself.
Because you thought, why am I still reacting like this?
Exactly. I kept thinking, come on, it was one job. You're an adult. Why is this still bothering you?
Wow, that is such a familiar conversation.
Isn't it?
Absolutely. I think so many people do that. Something hurts us, and at first, we're understanding. We're gentle. We say, okay, that was painful. Give it a few days.
And then a few days become a few weeks.
And suddenly, all the kindness disappears.
Right? Then we start acting like our emotions have missed a deadline.
Exactly.
Like healing was due last Friday.
And now, we're standing there with an extension request.
Hi, sorry, I'm still sad.
Unfortunately, I will need 3 to 5 business months.
That feels accurate.
It really does. Actually, I had something similar happen with a friendship a few years ago.
A friendship?
Yeah, it wasn't one big dramatic fight. It was worse.
Worse?
It ended awkwardly and slowly.
Ah, the emotional equivalent of a Wi-Fi signal dying one bar at a time.
That is painfully accurate.
Thank you.
We used to talk all the time. Then things got weird. Messages got shorter. Plans kept getting canceled. The whole thing slowly turned into this strange, polite distance.
No closure. No clear ending.
Exactly. And because nothing dramatic happened, I told myself I shouldn't be that upset.
Interesting.
I kept thinking, this is ridiculous. Nobody died. Nobody screamed. Why are you acting like this is a tragedy?
But it still hurt.
It really did. And that was the frustrating part. I wasn't just sad about losing the friendship. I was also annoyed at myself for still caring.
Wow, that's important.
Because after a while, it wasn't just, I miss my friend. It became, why am I still thinking about this? Why am I still checking our old messages? Why does this still feel heavy?
So the pain had two layers.
Sadly, yes.
The original hurt, and then the frustration of still hurting.
Yes. And honestly, sometimes the second part is almost worse.
I agree. Because when you're upset about being upset, there's no rest in it. You can't even feel your feelings peacefully. You're arguing with them the whole time.
That's such a good way to say it.
It's like your heart is trying to recover, and your brain is standing there with a whistle yelling, "Come on, faster!"
Noah, that image is both funny and upsetting.
Thank you. That was my goal.
You know what I think makes it even harder?
What?
Other people.
Oh, absolutely.
Not because they're trying to be cruel. Usually they're not. But sometimes you look around and everybody else seems fine.
Meanwhile, you're at home being emotionally attacked by a song, a memory, and half a sandwich.
Exactly.
And then you start thinking, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe everyone else knows how to move on, and I somehow missed the lesson.
Yes. But the problem is, we compare our inside to other people's outside.
That's good.
We see someone laughing, working, posting normal photos, living their life, and we assume they're completely okay.
When in reality, they might just be healing quietly.
Exactly.
You know what I wish more people understood?
What's that?
Still hurting doesn't automatically mean you're failing.
Well said.
It might just mean something mattered to you.
Or that your heart is slower than your schedule.
Wow, I like that.
Thanks. I accidentally became wise for a second.
It happens.
Very rarely, but yes.
So maybe that's the first thing we need to say today.
Healing is not a school project.
You do not get extra points for pretending you're fine before you actually are.
And being sad longer than you expected does not mean you're weak.
It doesn't mean you're broken.
And it definitely doesn't mean you're going backwards.
Sometimes, healing gets harder because the original pain is still there.
But also because we keep standing over it, saying, "Hurry up! Why aren't you done yet?"
And maybe that's the part we need to change.
Not by giving up on healing.
But by stopping the fight with the timeline.
Because healing is already hard enough.
It doesn't need a deadline, too. You know, Lila, I think this is the part that confuses people the most.
Only one part?
Okay, fine. One of the many confusing parts.
That sounds more honest.
What I mean is, I think a lot of us secretly expect healing to move in a straight line.
Yes.
Like this. Something hurts us, then we slowly feel better. Then one day we become completely fine and never get sad about it again.
A beautiful fantasy.
A gorgeous fantasy.
Very organized, very clean, very fake.
Exactly. Because real healing usually looks more like this. Okay, I'm doing better. Then, why am I crying in a supermarket? Then, actually, I'm fine again. Then, wow, I handled that memory really well. Then, why did that song ruin my entire evening?
That is painfully accurate.
It's like your emotions are being managed by a very unreliable weather app.
Yes. Sunny with a 40% chance of suddenly remembering something from 2019.
Exactly.
And honestly, that's the part that can make healing feel so discouraging.
Because every time you have one bad day, you think all your progress has disappeared.
Right? You immediately go dramatic.
Immediately.
You don't think, "Oh, I'm having a hard moment." You think, "Amazing. Apparently, I've learned nothing. I have healed 0%. Emotionally, I am a broken lamp."
A broken lamp is such a specific image.
Thank you. It felt correct.
Honestly, it did.
I actually had a moment like this last year.
Go on.
So, by that point, I was doing much better after a really painful friendship ending.
The slow Wi-Fi friendship.
Exactly, that one. And I really was better. I wasn't thinking about it every day anymore. I wasn't rereading old messages. I wasn't making dramatic playlists in the dark.
A sign of growth.
A huge sign of growth.
Very proud of you.
Thank you. So one afternoon, I was out running errands, feeling normal, buying boring adult things.
Paper towels.
Paper towels, yes.
The most glamorous chapter of adulthood.
Truly. Anyway, I was standing in line at a store, and I heard someone say my old friend's name.
Just the name?
Just the name. It wasn't even my friend. It was a stranger talking to another stranger, completely unrelated. But the second I heard that name, something in me just dropped.
Oof.
My stomach tightened, my chest felt weird, and suddenly I had that awful thought. Oh no, I'm not over this at all. I went home feeling so frustrated. I remember sitting on my bed thinking, this is ridiculous. It's been months. Why am I reacting like this? I thought I was doing better.
And in that moment, did it feel like all your progress had disappeared?
Completely.
Yeah.
It honestly felt like I had been fooling myself. Like maybe I wasn't healing at all. Maybe I had just been distracted.
That's such a common fear.
It is. Because when the pain comes back, even for a moment, it can feel very dramatic.
Absolutely.
It doesn't feel like a small setback. It feels like the whole emotional building is on fire.
And this is where I think we need to say something really important.
Please.
That moment did not mean you were back at the beginning.
Yeah.
Not even close.
I know that now, but I definitely didn't know it that day.
Right. Because when you're inside the feeling, it's hard to see clearly. But if we step back for a second, look at what had already changed. Before, you were thinking about that friendship constantly.
True.
Before, you were rereading messages.
Also true.
Before, one memory could ruin your whole week.
Oof, yes.
But this time, you got triggered by hearing the name.
And it ruined one afternoon.
Exactly.
Wow.
Not because your pain wasn't real. It was. But your recovery was different.
That's true.
You felt it. It hurt. But you didn't completely fall into it for days.
No, I didn't.
And I think that's one of the most annoying truths about healing.
Only one?
Okay, one of the top 10 annoying truths.
That sounds better.
Healing progress doesn't always look like, I never feel pain again. Sometimes it looks like, I think about it less. I react less strongly. I recover faster. I have more good days between the bad ones. I can talk about it without falling apart.
That last one is such a big one.
It really is.
Because sometimes you don't notice you're healing while it's happening.
Exactly.
You're waiting for some giant dramatic sign.
Like waking up one morning and hearing a choir sing, "Congratulations, you are healed."
Honestly, I would appreciate that.
Same.
But real healing is usually much quieter than that.
Yes.
It's noticing that you went 3 days without thinking about the thing. Or that you talked about it and didn't cry. Or that you did cry, but only for 10 minutes instead of 2 hours.
That matters.
It really does.
You know what healing reminds me of?
Please don't say a butterfly.
Nope.
Good.
It's more like recovering from a physical injury.
Interesting.
If you hurt your ankle badly, there comes a point where you can walk again.
Right.
You can go to work. You can take the stairs. You can live your life.
But if you move the wrong way,
Or step badly.
it still hurts.
Exactly. And when it hurts, you don't say, well, I guess my ankle never healed at all. I'm back at day one.
No, of course not.
You just think, oh, it's still healing. I need to be a little careful today.
Wow. That actually makes so much sense.
Emotional healing can be like that too.
You can be doing much better and still have certain movements that hurt.
Certain songs,
Certain places.
certain names.
Certain dates.
And that pain is not proof that you've failed.
Or that all your progress was fake.
It might just be proof that the wound isn't fully finished yet.
And maybe that's okay.
Actually, I think it has to be okay.
Because otherwise, every hard day becomes a reason to panic.
Exactly. And healing is exhausting enough without turning every emotional wobble into a full identity crisis.
That sentence just attacked a lot of people.
Including me.
Same.
So maybe this is the part our listeners need to hear today. If you had a bad day, if something small triggered you, if you cried about something you thought you were over, if you felt strong last week and fragile this week,
That does not automatically mean you've gone backwards.
it does not automatically mean you're failing.
And it definitely does not mean you're back at the beginning.
A hard day is not proof that your healing disappeared.
Sometimes it's just proof that healing was never a straight line in the first place.
You know what I think has done enormous damage to our expectations?
Social media?
Yes, but I was actually going to say movies.
Also fair.
Healing in movies always looks so beautiful.
Of course it does. There's always rain, a window, and suspiciously excellent lighting.
Exactly. Someone cries one elegant tear, gives a powerful speech, takes a deep breath, and then walks into the sunrise emotionally reborn.
Meanwhile, real healing is like, good news! I ate lunch today and only checked his Instagram twice.
Progress.
Tiny, slightly embarrassing progress.
Honestly, though, I think that's one of the biggest reasons people miss their own healing.
Because they're waiting for a dramatic breakthrough?
Yep. They're waiting for some huge movie moment, one life-changing conversation, one perfect cry, one magical morning where they wake up and suddenly feel free forever.
And if that doesn't happen, they think nothing is changing.
Right.
When actually, real healing is usually much less glamorous than that.
So much less glamorous.
Real healing is like getting out of bed without negotiating with yourself for 40 minutes.
Huge win.
Replying to a message you've been avoiding.
Also a win.
Going a whole afternoon without replaying the same conversation in your head.
Massive win.
Eating normally again, sleeping a little better, laughing without forcing it.
Not checking someone's profile every 6 minutes like an emotionally unstable detective.
Exactly.
Retiring from the FBI, Feelings Bureau of Investigation.
Honestly, some of us should lose our badge.
Absolutely.
You know what's funny?
What?
Some of the biggest healing moments of my life would look unbelievably boring from the outside.
I love that sentence already. Tell me one.
Okay. After a really painful time a few years ago, I remember there was a period when everything felt heavy. Food tasted boring, music was annoying, my phone felt exhausting. Even answering, "How are you?" felt like a part-time job.
Wow. Yes.
And I don't mean I was crying all day. It was quieter than that.
That almost makes it harder to explain.
Exactly. It was just this constant heaviness. Like life had lost color, but only slightly. Enough to make everything feel harder.
I know that feeling.
And then one afternoon, I was walking home after buying groceries.
Again with the glamorous stories.
I know. My life is basically an action film.
Obviously.
Anyway, I had a bag full of very exciting things like eggs and tomatoes.
Wow. Thrilling.
Please let me have my moment.
Go on.
So I'm walking home, carrying these groceries, and I suddenly realized something strange.
What?
I was humming.
Really?
Yeah, just quietly. To myself. Some random song. Nothing dramatic. But I remember stopping for a second because I hadn't done that in weeks.
Wow.
And it sounds so small, but in that moment I thought, oh.
Like, oh, something is coming back.
Exactly. Not, oh, I'm healed and life is perfect. Just, oh, there you are.
That's really beautiful.
It was such a tiny thing. I wasn't dancing in the street. I didn't call anyone and say, "Great news, everyone. I have hummed."
Missed opportunity.
Honestly, yes.
You absolutely should have made that call.
Hello, just wanted to let you know I'm lightly singing near some vegetables.
A milestone.
A very strange milestone. But that's the point. Healing can look so ordinary that you almost miss it.
Yes.
It can look like the first time food tastes good again, or the first morning you don't immediately think about the thing, or the first time you hear their name and your whole body doesn't panic.
Or the first joke that makes you laugh for real.
Yes.
Not polite laugh, not I'm trying to seem normal laugh.
Not survival laugh.
Exactly.
A real laugh. The kind that surprises you because it came out before you had time to stop it.
That's such a good feeling.
It really is.
You know what I think is important here?
What?
Healing doesn't always mean the pain disappears. Sometimes it just means the pain stops running the entire show.
Wow. Yes.
Like maybe the sadness is still in the room.
But it's not holding the microphone anymore.
Exactly.
I like that. Because I think a lot of people believe healing means I never feel hurt again.
Right?
But sometimes healing is much simpler than that. It's feeling hurt without being destroyed.
That's good.
It's having a bad day without deciding your whole life is broken.
It's being triggered by something and still being able to come back to yourself.
It's learning how to be kinder to yourself on the hard days instead of making them harder.
That one matters a lot.
It really does. Because sometimes the healing isn't only in what you feel.
It's also in how you treat yourself while you're feeling it.
Exactly. A few years ago, if I had a hard day, I'd immediately make it worse.
How?
Oh, I'd start interrogating myself. What is wrong with you? Why are you still upset? Haven't we already done this? Can we please be normal for 5 minutes?
Wow, aggressive.
Very.
Like being bullied by your own internal manager.
Exactly. But now, on a better day, I'm a little kinder. Not perfect, just kinder. More like, okay, today is hard. That's frustrating. But it doesn't mean everything is ruined.
And honestly, that's healing too.
I think so.
Maybe more than people realize.
Because healing is often invisible.
Not fake invisible.
Real invisible. Quiet invisible. Ordinary invisible.
The kind that happens while you're making lunch, answering messages, taking a walk, buying tomatoes, humming to yourself.
And slowly becoming someone who can carry the memory without letting it crush them.
So, maybe that's worth saying clearly.
Please.
If your healing doesn't look dramatic,
If it doesn't come with a speech, a sunrise, and a beautiful soundtrack,
that doesn't mean it isn't real.
sometimes the biggest proof that you're healing
Is hidden inside tiny, ordinary moments nobody else would even notice. You know what I think is one of the saddest parts of healing?
What?
Sometimes the original pain isn't the only thing hurting us.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we start helping the pain.
Wow. That was rude and accurate.
You know what I mean, though. Something hurts us, and then we make it worse by talking to ourselves like an angry, disappointed manager.
Oh, absolutely. Hi, yes, welcome back to Sadness. Just wondering why you're still like this.
Exactly. We noticed you cried on a Wednesday. Very unprofessional.
Frankly, we expected more healing by Q3.
Yes.
Honestly, the way some of us speak to ourselves during hard seasons is unbelievable.
It really is. If your friend came to you and said, I had a bad day. I cried again. I missed them today. I feel heavy this week. You probably wouldn't grab them by the shoulders and say, embarrassing, heal faster.
I mean, I hope not.
I really hope not.
But somehow when it's us, we suddenly become the world's least compassionate life coach.
That's exactly it. And I think if healing already hurts, we don't need to turn it into a full-time bullying experience.
Thank you. Can we put that on a wall somewhere?
Absolutely.
Because I've definitely done that to myself before.
Same.
There was a time when every bad day became evidence against me.
What do you mean?
I mean, if I cried again, I didn't just think, oh, today is hard. I thought, well, apparently I've learned nothing.
Oof.
If I missed someone, I didn't think, that makes sense. They mattered to me. I thought, wow, so we're still doing this? Incredible. Very embarrassing.
That is painfully relatable.
Right? One hard day suddenly became a courtroom.
Oh, wow.
Every emotion was treated like proof that I was failing.
That's such a good way to describe it.
And the problem is, once you do that, the bad day gets twice as heavy.
Because now you're carrying two things.
Exactly. The original pain, and then the shame of still feeling it.
That's huge. Because sometimes what exhausts us isn't only the sadness. It's the argument we start with ourselves about the sadness.
Yes, the sadness shows up with a backpack. And then we hand it another backpack full of guilt, frustration, panic, and self-criticism.
Here, carry this too.
Also this, and this. Good luck.
You know, I think maybe the first practical thing we can say here is really simple.
Go for it.
Stop using one bad day as evidence against yourself.
Yes.
Crying again does not mean you're back at zero. Missing someone today does not mean you learned nothing. Feeling heavy this week does not mean you're broken.
It might just mean you're human.
Exactly. And humans are annoyingly emotional creatures.
Very annoyingly emotional.
I mean, we can be destroyed by a song, a smell, a random street, a coffee cup.
A receipt, apparently.
A receipt, apparently.
Still can't believe I lost a fight to a piece of paper.
Honestly, that receipt had incredible power.
It really did. But seriously, I think one thing that helped me was changing the question.
From what to what?
From, why am I still feeling this? To, am I handling this differently than I used to?
Ooh, that's good.
Because those are very different questions.
So, what kinds of things would you look at?
Small things. Like, am I recovering faster than before? Am I speaking to myself a little more kindly? Am I less consumed by this than I was 3 months ago? Am I making slightly healthier choices on the hard days?
That's such an important shift. Because healing isn't always measured by whether the pain appears. Sometimes it's measured by what happens when the pain appears.
Exactly. Maybe you still cried, but you didn't spend the whole night spiraling. Maybe you still got triggered, but you calmed down in an hour instead of 3 days. Maybe you still felt sad, but you ate dinner, took a shower, texted your friend back, and went to bed before 2 a.m.
Honestly, that's progress.
It is progress. Not glamorous progress. Not movie progress. Not, I stood on a mountain and forgave my past progress.
A shame. I love dramatic mountain growth.
Of course you do.
I want at least one healing breakthrough with wind in my hair and a powerful soundtrack.
Unfortunately, some healing journeys are much less glamorous.
How much less glamorous are we talking?
Mine once involved sitting at my kitchen table, staring at a bowl of soup, and trying to convince myself to eat 3 spoonfuls.
That's actually very real.
Yeah, it was not a poetic moment. Nobody was playing the piano in the background. I was just sitting there like, okay, 1 spoonful. Let's be brave.
Honestly, I think that counts.
I do too now. At the time, though, I thought it was pathetic.
Why?
Because I had this idea that healing was supposed to look impressive. Wise journal entries, long walks at sunset, deep conversations, personal growth.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, it looked like soup.
Wow. Healing really knows how to humble a person.
It truly does. But I think that's the third thing people need to hear. Let healing be boring sometimes.
That's so good.
Not every step has to be deep or dramatic or inspiring. Sometimes healing is showering. Sometimes it's answering 1 message. Sometimes it's cleaning 1 corner of your room. Sometimes it's going outside for 10 minutes because you know staying in bed all day will make everything worse.
Sometimes it's not reopening the old wound on purpose,
Oof, yes.
not rereading the old messages, not checking the photo again, not visiting the same memory for the 50th time, like you're emotionally picking at a scab.
That image is disgusting.
And yet correct.
Unfortunately, yes.
I think that's worth saying clearly too. Being gentle with yourself doesn't always mean candles, baths, and inspirational tea.
Sometimes it means making one boring, healthy decision because you know you're fragile today.
Exactly. Feed yourself. Drink water. Go to bed. Text someone back. Step outside. Put the sad song away for one evening.
And maybe most importantly, talk to yourself like someone worth helping.
Not someone you're disappointed in.
Not someone who's behind.
Not someone who should have been finished healing by now.
Just someone having a hard week.
Someone who deserves a little patience.
A little softness.
A little grace.
So maybe that's the question we want to leave people with before we move on.
Not, how do I fix my whole life by Friday?
Please no.
But something much smaller.
What would being a little gentler with yourself look like this week?
Maybe it means resting earlier.
Maybe it means not using one bad day as proof that you failed.
Maybe it means eating the soup.
Honestly, maybe it does.
You know, Lila, I keep thinking about one thing.
What's that?
I think a lot of people quietly believe they have to be fully healed before they're allowed to really live again.
Yes. Like, I'll enjoy life again when I'm completely okay.
I'll try new things again when this stops hurting.
I'll feel like myself again later.
And I get why people feel that way. When something hurts, it's easy to treat healing like a finish line.
Like, one day you'll wake up, cross some invisible emotional border, and finally become a person who is done.
Done. Finished. Repaired. Delivered.
Very efficient.
Extremely. Unfortunately, human feelings have never cared about efficiency.
Not once.
But maybe healing doesn't work like that. Maybe it's not a door you walk through one day.
Maybe it's something quieter.
Yeah. Maybe it walks beside your life while you keep living it.
I really like that because it means your life does not have to wait until every part of you feels ready.
Exactly. You do not have to be completely fixed before you're allowed to have a meaningful day.
You can still laugh with your friends.
You can still go for a walk.
Enjoy a good meal.
Make plans.
Try again.
Have one peaceful Tuesday that belongs to you instead of your sadness.
Wow, yes. Because I think sometimes people imagine healing and living as two separate stages.
Like, first you heal,
And then later, you're finally allowed to start your life again.
but maybe those things happen together. Maybe healing is happening while you make coffee, answer messages, go to work, laugh at something stupid, and do your best to get through an ordinary week.
And I think that matters so much. Because if something still hurts sometimes, that does not mean you're weak.
And it doesn't mean you failed.
And it definitely doesn't erase the progress you've made.
It might just mean some parts of you are still catching up.
Yeah. And maybe that's okay.
Maybe healing isn't about becoming a person who never feels pain again.
Maybe it's about learning how to keep living, even while some pain is still there.
That's really it. You do not need to heal perfectly. You do not need to heal quickly. And you do not need to wait until you feel completely okay to let life back in.
Let yourself have good moments while you're still healing.
Let yourself have ordinary moments, too.
Let yourself keep going. Slowly, imperfectly, honestly.
And before we go, maybe here's one small question to carry with you this week.
What if your job this week is not to heal perfectly?
But simply to be a little kinder to yourself while healing.
Thank you for spending this time with us.
We hope this conversation felt comforting, useful, and maybe a little familiar in a good way.
And if you'd like to keep learning English through honest, slow conversations like this, we'd love to have you back here on Slow English HQ.
Take care of yourself,
Be patient with the parts of you that are still catching up.
and we'll talk to you again soon.
See you around.